Thank you for being here today. My name is Mark Meckler, and I am the president and founder of Citizens for Self-Governance. I was formerly the co-founder and national coordinator for Tea Party Patriots. And we're here today to talk about really essentially government tyranny. You know, when people fear their government, we have tyranny. And when the government fears the people, we have liberty. And today in this country, millions of people across this country fear the IRS. They fear that phone call from the IRS, or the email from the IRS, or the envelope that says IRS on the outside, or even, as we've learned recently, the knock at the door from the IRS. They fear their government, and as we've seen recently, they fear them with good cause. Today in America, the vast majority of Americans believe that the federal government is a threat to their rights and liberties. 73% of Americans say that the government has grown too large and is too intrusive in our lives. And we've seen that play out and prove itself as true beyond a shadow of the doubt over the last couple of weeks with the scandals, and specifically the IRS scandal that has enveloped this administration and this government. What we see is a coordinated attack on citizens of the United States based on their political perspective by the government of the United States. An attack like this is repulsive to most Americans in this country. People are looking to Congress for the fix. Congress is holding hearings. They're exciting and they have a lot of sex appeal on television, but I think it's important that we remember the IRS is actually a creation of Congress. The IRS is funded by Congress, and Congress provides the oversight for the IRS. So while we appreciate Congress coming to the party and realizing that the IRS itself is abusing American citizens and has been for a long time, we can't possibly expect Congress to fix the problem. If recent history is any example, what likelihood is there that Congress will step to the plate and actually fix these problems, or that the president himself will step to the plate and actually fix these problems? I would argue that that likelihood is roughly zero. And so the only thing we can do is step up as citizens. It's up to us to fix the mess created by Congress. This is the way it's always been in the United States of America, and frankly, it's the way it's supposed to be and the way it will always be. When government gets out of line, it's up to us, we the people, to step in and put government in line. And that's why we're here today. And we're here to talk about the class action litigation that we've helped, Citizens for Self-Governance has helped the NorCal Tea Party Patriots file against the IRS. We are now going on the offense. We will no longer sit back and be attacked by our own government without responding. We will no longer play defense. The only possible approach to fixing this is to play offense. You know, people talk about the IRS as if it's inevitable, but the country didn't always have an IRS. The IRS was founded in 1862 as a response to a way to collect taxes to fund the Civil War. And it was supposed to be temporary, and should be temporary. And it is an intrusive, abusive organization against the citizens of the United States of America. Now, people talk about this as a scandal, as if this is a bug in the system. But the reality is this isn't a bug, this is a feature. We have a system with a tax code that has almost 80,000 pages in the tax code. It's extraordinary. No human being, no man or woman can possibly know or understand that tax code. The tax code and the IRS are specifically designed to be punitive to some and to grant special favors to others, to the special friends of those in power, the ruling elite here in Washington, D.C. So when people talk about this like it's a scandal, or like it's a bug in the system, we got to remember this is specifically how the system is designed, and this is what the IRS is designed to do. And one of the reasons we're filing this litigation, we filed this litigation in Cincinnati yesterday, is to stop this, is to throw a wrench into the system, is essentially to break the IRS and to keep it from doing what it's designed to do, to keep it from harassing the American people, to keep it from harassing individuals who simply want to express their own political opinions. I'm personally involved. A lot of you know me as the co-founder of the Tea Party Patriots and a former national coordinator. And one of the reasons I'm personally involved in this litigation is because the NorCal Tea Party is actually one of my home tea parties. I live in a small town in Northern California. You know, I'm not a fancy Washington, D.C. suit. We're here in my boots and my jeans because we're just regular folks. And this is my regular hometown tea party that got attacked by the IRS. Literally just regular people from their homes working to help their country be better, getting attacked by the federal government. When I realized that my hometown Tea Party, one of the Tea Parties that I helped found in the beginning of this movement 4 years ago, was under attack, I realized that we had to step in and do something. And so Citizens for Self-Governance stepped in to help fund this litigation, help find competent counsel to prosecute the litigation, and to help advise not only the NorCal Tea Party, but any other groups that we want that are willing to join us in this class action lawsuit against the federal government. We've literally now had dozens of inquiries, and we're working with other groups to join them in the litigation. And if you're interested in joining in the litigation, if you'd like to know more about the litigation, or if you'd like to see a copy of the complaint that we filed in the litigation, you can go to SueTheIRS.com. That's SueTheIRS.com. You can get a copy of that complaint. You can submit a form to us saying that your group was harassed as well, and we can talk about getting you guys involved in the suit. This is about citizens retaking the American government. We will no longer cower before the government or before the IRS. Today, we go on the attack. I want to introduce you to the woman who is the president of the NorCal Tea Party, the woman who had the guts to step up and do the right thing and to go actually toe-to-toe with the IRS and fight back. I'd like to introduce you to Jenny Rapini. Jenny?
Thank you, Mark. Let me first tell you how I got involved in the Tea Party and then with meeting Mark, and we started a group in our local area and wanted to make it a little bit bigger and get our 501c4 status. So shortly after we began in March of 2010 is when I first filed my papers for the 501c4, which was a stack of papers about that thick, the application. I filled it all out, did everything I was supposed to, had my accountant look at it, and it was done perfectly, sent it off to the IRS, and in August of that year, I got a 3-page request for more information. There were probably 20 to 25 pieces of information that were requested from the IRS. Thank you. And I filled that out, sent a box back to the IRS about like this, and expected then to get my letter of approval shortly after that. Well, instead, that was in August of 2010. I did not hear from the IRS until January of 2012. And I have copies of letters, I have emails, there were phone calls made, I have a log of the phone calls, trying to get the IRS to respond to me. With as much power as the IRS has over us, we should be able to have some personal communication with them when we have a question or a concern. Well, I didn't hear from them until January, and then they sent me this. 97 questions in here. 97 more pieces of information that they wanted from us. Names, addresses, and phone numbers of our donors. They wanted every email I had ever sent out. They wanted to know, they wanted transcripts of every speech that anyone had ever made at any one of our multitudes of meetings and events. I got this and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know that I can do this one. I did that first one. I'm just a wife, mother, and grandmother. And here I am trying to do this, answer this to the IRS. My first reaction was, oh my gosh, I don't think I can do this. And then about 5 minutes later, I thought, oh my gosh, they want me to quit. They want to intimidate me. They do not want me to give this 501c4 status to me. And so it made me mad. And I decided I was going to do that. I had 2 weeks to get all this information to them. I had a box now that was this big. There were over 3,000 sheets of paper. They wanted handouts of everything we had ever handed out at any meeting. Among those were the Pocket Constitution. They were so intimidated by us that I had to send them this teddy bear. A teddy bear that we had handed out at a 4th of July parade that we were in. And we handed out teddy bears. So I sent them a teddy bear as well. They wanted to know books we had read and books that we recommended to our members. I have had members since this has all broken who say to me, I am not going to come to your meetings anymore, and I can't go to any of the rallies because I'm being audited, and I believe it's because of our involvement with the NorCal Tea Party. That is tyranny. That is not liberty and freedom. And we can't let this go on anymore. We have to stand up. I don't want to be here and do this. This is a huge intrusion into my personal life. But you know what? The IRS is a huge intrusion into everybody's personal life, and it's time that we stand up and fight for this.
Thanks, Ginny, and thank all of you for being here today. You can, again, follow what's going on with this litigation at SueTheIRS.com. That's SUE, the IRS.com. You can get a copy of the complaint and the exhibits there, and we will have continuing information updating this litigation at SueTheIRS.com. So thank you very much for being with us today.